The energy that creates in my arms is amazing. Good morning and welcome to everyone. Those of you here with us in the sanctuary and those of you joining us from home, whoever you are, whomever you love, however you identify, whatever yearning for hope brings you here today, we are glad to be together. I am Joe Penno, your worship lead today. Sorry you get the B team, folks, just me. And I am a middle-aged man who has gotten rid of the Santa beard and just has that white goatee and a bald head, shiny as can be these days. We had someone else leading the worship today, but they were unable to be here, so with Reverend Audette's help, I am handling the whole service. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege that I will not take lightly. Paul Moore is providing you music today. We have the incredible Simon Jacobs on tech. We are also grateful to everyone who lends a helping hand, from our ushers and greeters, our cleanup and coffee sages, our faith formation collaborators, and everyone that keeps this place humming. Everybody chips in, and it is a marvelous place to be. But now here, in our last service of 2025, let us pause. Take a moment, silence your devices, settle your hearts to be together for this sacred hour. Henry, you want to come up and help me with the chalice? I didn't know why I was running. It's okay. You ready? Go ahead. Good job. Thank you. We light this chalice for the ones who arrive disheveled, carrying questions, contradictions, grief half-healed, and dreams still raw. You deserve a place that welcomes your becoming, that knows your fire is not too much, your silence is not too little. A place that sees your shadows and still reaches for your light. You deserve a community that listens when you speak your truth, that sits with you in your turmoil and rises with you in joy, that believes in your voice, even when it trembles. You deserve a circle that brings you hope and coffee and poetry, a place to rest, a place to rise. Let this flame be that place, not perfect, but possible, not without cracks, but full of light. Welcome home. Now rise at your peak of your physical or spiritual capacity, and we will sing hymn number 21 for the beauty of the earth. We're going to sing verses 1, 3, and 4, and the words will be on the screen. This morning's wisdom story, There's a Crocodile in My Lunchbox by Steve Atwell, will play on the screens.
There's a crocodile in my lunchbox. I opened up my lunchbox. I'd been hungry for a while, and there, amongst the bread and cheese, there sat a crocodile. I saw the crumbs upon its jaws. It looked at me and I at it. He'd eaten all my biscuits up, and they're my favourite bit. Still with eyes affixed on me, he opened up his mouth and he snapped up a massive lump of cheese. How will I stop this travesty? I opened up my pencil case and picked my ruler up and poked him in the ear hole, but that didn't make him stop. His jaws bit down and then a snap. He twisted and turned, was quite a mover. Plastic shards flew here and there. He rudely ruined my favourite ruler. He eyed me with distrust as he munched on my pickled egg. And when he'd finished eating that, jumped out and up my leg. He climbed onto my head to see as far as he could see, then jumped in Geoffrey's lunchbox to have another feed. Well, Geoffrey looked upset with me, but there was nothing I could do to stop the croc from leaping in his lunchbox for the food. We ran across the local field. In our step and urgent spring, we marched down to the village pond and threw the lunchbox in. Now Crocodile lives in the pond. We dare not get too close, in case he jumps and eats our lunch, or bites us on the nose.
Now we're going to sing the children out to their faith formation time. If you're new or have a new grown-up with you, they might want to go with you to see where to pick you up after the service. It always warms my heart to see how many children are a part of this congregation. This is a prayer written by Manish Mizra Marzetti. Say that 5 times fast. In the midst of running from my problems, from myself, from one necessary task to the next, I listen to that impulse within me, the one that reminds me that I could keep running blindly my whole life. Days and months speeding into years, losing all perspective. I am reminded that learning how to rest and abide in you is in part how I learn to rest and abide in me. I need you, source of all creation, as deeply as I need myself, as deeply as I long for comfort, reassurance, guidance, and trust. Your presence feels so distant. Too distant. When I am living life as if it's a marathon waiting to be won, help me instead recall that slowing down can be just as important, perhaps at times more important than speeding to get things done. Help me remember, beloved, that the longings of my heart are never satisfied by the sprint, but rather by the slow, languid meander. Help me remember that my weary spirit may be weary because of all my running. I can choose to slow down. Help me make that choice. Walk with me as I make that choice. Now is the time to acknowledge our joys and sorrows with a ritual of water and rocks. For all that grieves our hearts, we add salt to brine the water in this vessel, seeded from the water of our water communion. For all that brings our heart's joy or celebration, We scatter some flower petals to symbolize our happiness or contentment, also seeded with water from our water communion. Like usual, we ask that you come down the sides, grab a stone, and then drop it in. You don't have to wait too long for the next person. You don't have to give them lots of room, and you just come through the middle and then go back up the middle to your chair. I don't know we'll have a big rush today or a big crowd, but if you need to get through, just say, "Excuse me," and folks will be glad to move along. And I'll be down here to offer a hug if anybody wants one. If you have shared a joy, know that we all rejoice with you. If you have shared a sorrow, know you are held in love and care by this community. We add these last rocks for all the joys and sorrows of our community carried by those who are not present with us today. Our community is one community, gathered or apart. So as you know, today is a poetry service, and at the cusp of the turning of the year, we're going to begin with poetry that allows us to look backward, reflecting on days past. The first poet we'll hear from this morning is Jane Kenyon. Kenyon published 4 volumes of poetry during her life, From Room to Room in 1978, The Boat of Quiet Hours in 1986, Let Evening Come in 1990, and Constance in 1993, and as translator, 20 poems of Anna Akhmatova, I hope I said that correctly, in 1985. Despite her relatively small output, her poetry was highly lauded by critics throughout her lifetime. As fellow poet Carol Musk remarked in the New York Times when describing Kenyon's The Boat of Quiet Hours, these poems surprise beauty at every turn and capture truth at its familiar New England slant. Here, in Keats' terms, is a capable poet. This is her poem, Otherwise, again by Jane Kenyon. I got out of bed on 2 strong legs. It might have been otherwise. I ate cereal, sweet milk, ripe, flawless peach. It might have been otherwise. I took the dog uphill to the birchwood. All morning I did the work I love. At noon I lay down with my mate. It might have been otherwise. We ate dinner together at a table with silver candlesticks. It might have been otherwise. I slept in a bed in a room with paintings on the walls and planned another day just like this day. But one day, I know, it will be otherwise. The next poet is Lewis Simpson. Poet, editor, translator, and critic Lewis Simpson was born in Jamaica to Scottish and Russian parents. Imagine listening to those folks talk. He moved to the United States when he was 17 to study at Columbia University. After his time in the Army and a brief period in France, Simpson worked as an editor in New York City before completing his PhD at Columbia. He taught at colleges such as Columbia University, the University of California, Berkeley, and the State University of New York at Stony Brook. A1 and Al and Beth by Lewis Simpson. My Uncle Al worked at a drugstore 3 blocks above Times Square, dispensing pills and cosmetics. All day long, crazy people and thieves came into the store, but nothing seemed to faze him. His sister, Beth, was the opposite, romantic. She used to sing on ships that sailed from New York to Central and South America. When the tourists came trailing back on board with their maracas, Beth would be in the Aztec room singing, "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and I Get a Kick Out of You." Once when I argued with Al about something that America was doing, "My country, right or wrong," he told me. I suppose so. If you've come from a village in Russia no one ever heard of, with no drains, and on saints' days the Cossacks descend on you with the blessing of the church to beat out your brains, and when after a fortnight being seasick, there's a statue and buildings reaching up to the sky, streets full of people, the clang of a bell, someone yelling, or you almost get run over. More things happening every second in New York than Lutsk in a year. Al lived on Kingston Avenue, Brooklyn, all of his life, with the wife his mother had picked out for him. Beth never married. She was still waiting for Mr. Right. Of such is the kingdom of heaven, say that I sent you. Next we have Liesl Müller, poet and translator Liesl Müller was born in Hamburg, Germany in 1924. The daughter of teachers, she and her family were forced to flee the Nazi regime when Müller was 15. They immigrated to the U.S. and settled in the Midwest. Müller attended the University of Evansville, where her father was a professor. She performed her graduate study at Indiana University. Her collections of poetry include The Private Life, which was the 1975 Lamont Poetry Selection, Second Language, 1986, The Need to Hold Still, 1980, which received the National Book Award, Learning to Play by Ear, 1990, and Alive Together, New and Selected Poems in 1996, which won the Pulitzer Prize. Things by Liesl Müller. What happened is we grew lonely living among the things, so we gave the clock a face, the chair a back, the table 4 stout legs, which will never suffer fatigue. We fitted our shoes with tongues as smooth as our own and hung tongues inside bells so we could listen to their emotional language. And because we loved graceful profiles, the pitcher received a lip, the bottle a long, slender neck. Even what was beyond us was recast in our image. We gave the country a heart, the storm an eye, the cave a mouth, so we could pass into safety. The last poet in this section is Lewis Jenkins. Lewis Jenkins is one of the contemporary masters of the prose poem. Born in Oklahoma, Jenkins lived near Duluth, Minnesota for over 30 years. The author of many books, his late poetry collections included Where Your House Is Now, New and Selected Prose Poems, In the Sun, Out of the Wind, Before You Know It, Prose Poems 1970 to 2005, European Shoes, and North of the Cities. His work was regularly featured on the radio show A Prairie Home Companion. State of the Economy by Lewis Jenkins. There might be some change on top of the dresser at the back, and we should check the washer and the dryer. Check under the floor mats of the car. The couch cushions. I have some books and CDs I could sell, and there are a couple big bags of aluminum cans in the basement. Only trouble is that there isn't enough gas in the car to get around the block. I'm expecting a check sometime next week, which, if we are careful, will get us through to payday. In the meantime, with your $1 rebate check and a few coins, we have enough to walk to the store and buy a quart of milk and a newspaper. On second thought, forget the newspaper. We're now going to have a musical reflection, Autumn Leaves. And now, what you've all been waiting for, poetry, part 2. In this section, we will look to the future through poetry. We begin with Blessing for the New Year by Father John O'Donohue. John's writings are illuminated with deep and critical passion of our innate human hunger to belong within the physical and mental landscapes that we mysteriously inhabit. In 1997, Anam Cara was published, instantly becoming an international bestseller and propelling John onto the world stage. Eternal Echoes, exploring our hunger to belong, followed in 1998. In 2000, John retired from public priestly ministry, living in a remote cottage in Connemara. He devoted himself full-time to writing and a public life of speaking and advocating for social justice, while inspiring the powerful in society to engage in meaningful change. A Blessing for the New Year by Father John O'Donohue. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken you in a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought, and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the oceans be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Our next poet is Tom Hennon, born into a big Dutch-Irish family in 1942 in Morris, Minnesota. Tom Hennon grew up on farms. After abandoning college, he married and began work as a letterpress and offset printer in 1965. In 1972, he helped found the Minnesota Writers Publishing House, printing with a press stashed in his garage work that included his first chapbook, The Heron with No Business Sense. He worked for the Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Division in the 1970s and later worked as a wildlife technician at the Sand Lake National Wildlife Refuge in South Dakota. Now retired, he lives in St. Paul near his children and grandchildren. The Life of a Day by Tom Hennon. Like people or dogs, each day is unique and has its own personality quirks, which can easily be seen if you look closely. But there are so few days as compared to people, not to mention dogs, that it would be surprising if a day were not 100 times more interesting than most people. Usually they just pass, mostly unnoticed, unless they are wildly nice, such as autumn ones full of red maple trees and hazy light, or if they are grimly awful ones in the winter blizzard that kills the lost traveler and bunches of cattle. For some reason, we want to see days pass, even though most of us claim we don't want to reach our last one for a long time. We examine each day before us with barely a glance and say, no, this isn't the one I've been looking for, and wait in a bored sort of way for the next, when we are convinced our lives will start for real. Meanwhile, this day is going by perfectly well adjusted, as some days are, with the right amounts of sunlight and shade and a light breeze, perfumed with from the mixture of fallen apples, corn stubble, dry oak leaves, and the faint odor of last night's meandering skunk. Next, we include the work of the inimitable Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was a central figure in the Harlem Renaissance, the flowering of black intellectual, literary, and artistic life that took place in the 1920s in a number of American cities, particularly Harlem. A major poet, Hughes also wrote novels, short stories, essays, and plays. He sought to honestly portray the joys and hardships of working-class black lives, avoiding both sentimental idealization and negative stereotypes. As he wrote in his essay, The Negro Artist and the Racial Mountain, we younger Negro artists who create now intend to express our individual dark-skinned selves without fear or shame. If white people are pleased, we are glad. If they are not, it doesn't matter. We know we are beautiful, and ugly too. I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. We'll end this morning with a newer voice, but one already transformational in American culture. Amanda Gorman. Amanda Gorman was born and raised in Los Angeles. She is the author of the poetry book, The One for Whom Food is Not Enough. She attended New Roads in Santa Monica and Harvard University, where she graduated cum laude with a degree in sociology. Her art and activism focus on issues of oppression, feminism, race, and marginalization, as well as the African diaspora. In 2014, Gorman was named the first Youth Poet Laureate of Los Angeles, and in 2017 was named the first U.S. National Youth Poet Laureate. I am not going to do this justice the way that she reads her poems, but I'm going to try. An Ode We Owe by Amanda Gorman. How can I ask you to do good when we've barely withstood our greatest threats yet? The depths of death, despair, and disparity, atrocities across cities, towns, and countries, lives lost, climactic costs. Exhausted, angered, we are endangered, not because of our numbers, but because of our numbness. We're strangers to one another's perils and pain, unaware that the welfare of the public and the planet share a name. Equality. Doesn't mean being the exact same, but enacting a vast aim. The good of the world is to its highest capability. The wise believe that our people without power leaves our planet without possibility. Therefore, through poverty is a poor existence. Complicity is a poor excuse. We must go the distance. Though this battle is hard and huge, though this fight we did not choose for preserving the earth isn't a battle too large to win, but a blessing too large to lose. that our people have only one planet to call home, and our planet has only one people to call its own. We can either divide and be conquered by the few, or we can decide to conquer the future and say that today, a new dawn we wrote, say that as long as we have humanity, we will forever hope. Together, we won't just be the generation that tries, but the generation that triumphs. Let us see a legacy where tomorrow is not driven by the human condition, but by our human conviction. And while hope alone can't save us now, with it, we can be brave now. Because the hardest change hinges on our darkest challenges. Thus, may our crisis be our cry, our crossroad, the oldest ode we owe each other. We chime it for the climate, for our communities. We shall respect and protect every part of this planet, hand it to every heart on this earth until no one's worth is rendered by the race, gender, class, or identity they were born. This morn let it be sworn that we are one human kin, grounded not just by griefs we bear, but by the good we begin. To anyone out there, I only ask that you care before it's too late, that you live aware and awake, that you lead with love in hours of hate. I challenge you to heed this call. I dare you to shape our fate. Above all, I dare you to do good so that the world might be great. Now, wow, that was fun. I hope you felt it like I did. We're going to sing our next hymn, which is hymn number 123, The Spirit of Life. And again, we're doing verses 1, 3, and 4. Please rise as you're physically or spiritually capable. I say this every time I'm up here. This is my favorite part of the services typically. It's where we do the work of our congregation. I want to invite anybody who is a visitor at this time to stand up and tell us your name and where you're from. No pressure, but if you're a visitor, we'd love to know about you.
Hello, my name is Genevieve, and I'm visiting from the UU Church of Baltimore.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oliver. I'm originally from Germany, relocated to Asheville more or less a year ago, and going through a hard time.
Welcome. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Be sure to say hi to one of our congregants. Usually it's Trevor. I don't know if we've got his picture to put up. This is Trevor. It's coming, I think. That's not Trevor. I wouldn't want to insult him that way. Oh, we got it. Here he is. There's Trevor. Trevor's not here today, but that's okay. There are lots of us that are here today that can help anybody with any questions they have. We want to make sure that you feel welcome. And we all know the rule. If we're a congregant, we're going to talk to 3 people we haven't talked to before while we're out at coffee. That's a wonderful thing to do, and it's how I've met some wonderful friends. Our visit to you can visit our welcome table. We have some folks there that are eager to welcome you personally and get to know you a little bit. Our announcements run as slides at the beginning of the service. If you missed them, refer to Thursday's weekly e-news, as everything is described there in detail. If you don't receive the e-news, you can email us at information@uuashville.org, and we'll be glad to get you on that mailing list. Just a couple other things. We've got some committees that are looking for some more help. I can tell you my committee, the safety committee, would love more bodies. I know Graham would love some help with that as well. We're a little lean right now, and we would love some help, and that's dealing with security and safety for the congregation. And then we also still have our giving tree up that the board has created for this year. Feel free to take a look at it, find an ornament. There's a procedure that goes along with it where they will tell you what that ornament is and what you would be donating toward, and you can make a donation at that time. And there'll be folks out there to help you with that if you have any questions. We have a quick special announcement. Well, let's see here. Oh, I did have it in here for the board to come up. Sorry, I didn't read that. You want to come up and talk about it real quick? It goes toward the great work that this congregation does. Our community plate this month goes to the Minister's Discretionary Holiday Giving Fund, which allows Reverends Audette and Claudia to lend additional support to members and friends of UU Asheville who may be struggling financially this season. Anything left over remains in the fund to help members financially throughout the year, including through scholarships to the Mountain Retreat and other congregational events. The work and ministries of this congregation are entirely supported by the generosity of our members and friends. We celebrate your generosity every Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible, and we give thanks for you. And our offering will now be gratefully received. I did this a little out of turn because I wanted to hear that. For the gifts of your time, talent, and treasure, we are truly grateful. We're also grateful to Paul Moore for sharing the gift of music with us today. It has been incredible, Paul. Thank you. Now we've come to the end of our service. I want to thank you for indulging me today. It's been a great honor to be up here for you. I hope that I get many more opportunities to do that. Our benediction today is from Craig Rowland. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its warmth into the world, not as a memory, but as a promise. A promise that you deserve a place where your voice matters, where your laughter is treasured, and your silence is honored. You deserve a circle that sees your scars and your strength, your doubts and your radiance, and holds them all with care. Let us be that circle for one another, a community of fierce welcome, wild grace, and radical hope. Go, knowing you belong here. You always have. Oops. And now we'll sing our traditional Longtime Son. If you want to rise to your peak of your physical or spiritual capability. Let's have coffee.